Yeah, anyways, I was having a conversation with my cousin while I was, zooted or whatever. And this conversation was so interesting because I was opening up to her. And she told me, like, wow, I have never seen this side of you before. I have never seen this side of you. I was like, damn, like, I really need to start being more expressive. I owe it to her because of the fact that I said, like, people can never actually, the only time people can actually see you is if you are being expressive. That's the only time that people can actually see you. Because if you're trying to be like somebody else, if you are trying to hide yourself, if you're trying to dim who you actually are, nobody can, first and foremost, see you, and nobody can appreciate that side of you. Nobody can appreciate that. Yes, obviously you'll have people be like, if you're constantly, and I understand, like, most of the time people are constantly wondering, like, oh, what are people gonna think about me? Like, oh my god, am I cringe? Like, oh my god. But bro, the only time we're ever actually seen by other people is if we're being ourselves. Is if we are actually being the people who being the truest versions of ourselves, being the nature. And it sounds so woo woo, but it's like that's expression, that's art. That is what art is. Art is expression, not just of creativity, obviously, like not just pen to paper. It is that which we truly are. It is that expression, that extraction, right, of that divine nature in us, in all of us. You don't need to be an artist to know that. It's just that artists are tapped in to that version of themselves most of the time. Most of the time, people don't want to know what's going on with themselves because they fear what they will find. I was that person. I was that person who, oh my God, what if I go deep inside of me and I just don't like what I see? And then that came out externally as me judging other people, seeing me and who I am. But none of that, like none. I think I had to experience that thing with my cousins because that just for it to show me that being like expressing who I truly am, being creative, being expressive about who I am is never going to be a in my detriment. It's never going to actually, make my life worse. It's never going to be a bad thing because that has really taught me, like, yo, like, I need to be more expressive, dude. And as artists have an obligation to give other people that experience. I was listening to a podcast. Okay, I was listening to a podcast, and the man in the podcast, it was by Meg or Not Content, and the man in the podcast was talking about how are like people experience, not everybody experiences the state of flow, right? He was talking about the state of flow and how the state of flow can also be equated to the state of connectedness. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. Yes. That's what we're missing. We're missing in this current state of the world right now. And it sounds like, oh my God, she cracked the code. Like, okay. She like, oh, like, I believe that truly right now what we need is more expression, more creative expression, more people who can come out and create that feeling of connectedness through them, not just them, but through their art, through their work, right? Through their being. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have to be a poet, you have to be a writer, a fashion designer, whatever, photographer. So, but that I believe that art is also like alchemy, like a chemical, like a process of extracting something from something impure and turning it into something that is pure, you know? And I think that by that creative expression, we allow for connectedness because you creating a body of work, putting it out there, right? You expressing how you feel to somebody. That person sees a part of your soul and you see a part of their soul, and it creates this mutual understanding, even if it's just for a moment. You have this mutual understanding of their presence as a other divine human being. You have an understanding. You see that. You see a part of yourself in that person, you know, and they see a part of themselves in you too, as a listener, as an observer, as the understander. And I feel like that is what we need more than ever from everybody, not just artists. Artists are the people who are meant to pioneer this, bring it to the masses, bring it to everybody. But even people who aren't necessarily in the art space or whatever, they don't have like some kind of career or whatever. Like that is what I care about. That is my message. That's what I care about. Bringing that connectedness amongst people, amongst communities, right? That's my form of impact. And if I can do that, that's all I care about. That's genuinely all I care about with all of the stuff that I'm planning on doing. And like I feel like again, like I said, now more than ever, forever, isolation is something that we are pushed to go towards. Now more than ever, we need to be with one another. We need to be with one another. We need to be with one another. I need to see people being themselves. We're beyond the point of do people care about me? What like how do people think about me? Like we are beyond that point, bro. Because art is the real medicine. It is the medicine for the soul. It is the way, it is the sustenance of our evolution. Like, bro, if you think about how the years, how the decades, how the centuries have evolved, it was art literally paints, the art of that time literally paints a picture of the mirror, like it's a mirror to the world that was happening at that time. The way of the world that time. You don't even need history, bro. Okay, you do. Sorry, historians, you do. But like all of that to say, it is a way of our subconscious to make sense of what is going on around us. It's a way of us to make sense of our own subconscious mind as well. Because I feel like also art is a way for us to like tap into that and extract that which is hidden in plain sight, hidden within us, and bring it out. Because that's the only way we can connect is by expressing that the deepest part of ourselves. Not necessarily the worst or the most like heinous or whatever, but even the soft part of ourselves, you know? Like with me, I pride myself on being a very, non-emotional person. Bitch, when I was opening up to my cousin, I was crying. I was bawling my eyes out. Bawling my eyes out. Because I am an emotional person, you know? Everybody's an emotional person. But, I'm deflecting. Anyways, yeah. It was a bit, it was a bit twisty and turny. It was a bit, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say, yeah.